5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space. With news and information on the U.S. manned space program is your host of About Space, David Denard. Welcome and thanks for joining me, and we hope you've had a blessed Thanksgiving. So just what are the possibilities or probabilities of an asteroid colliding with Earth? We'll explore that question with Mark Banks, past president of the Atlanta Astronomy Club, next on About Space Today. Don't think of taxes and accounting as being a problem. I use Hometown Tax and Accounting Services in Cartersville, Georgia, and for all of your financial needs with years of valuable experience, they deal with estate, trust, tax planning services. And be sure to like us on Facebook, Hometown Tax and Accounting in Cartersville, Georgia. Are you ready to fly away on a dream vacation? For cruises and all-inclusive resort vacations, call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. And see us on Facebook, D&D Cruise and Tours, where your dreams become a reality. Welcome back. Joining me is the past president of the Atlanta Astronomy Club, Mark Banks. Mark, tell us a little bit about the astronomy club that you belong to and how long have you been involved?
Okay, well, the Atlanta Astronomy Club has been around since 1947. It was originally created by a professor at Agnes Scott College in Decatur. They had their meetings there at Agnes Scott for quite a few years. But the current Astronomy Club has monthly meetings at the Fernbank Science Center. And they always have a speaker talk about a subject of interest to amateur astronomers. I've joined the club back in the late 1980s and have been attending the meetings on a regular basis ever since. And there's always something interesting. And a lot of set up telescopes in like public park or someplace and show people items of interest in the night sky, try to educate people about astronomy in particular and just science in general, and help to enlighten the public about what's going on when they look up.
Well, next month, the OSIRIS-REx will make an attempt to land on an asteroid named Bennu. Some scientists say that they are the leftover building blocks of the solar system, remnants from the dawn of the planet formation, and may have derived organics in water to planet Earth. That's quite an accomplishment that we're facing here. But, I know that we're focused on asteroids, but what are the possibilities or the probabilities, Mark, that an asteroid could hit Earth?
Well, actually, it's simply a matter of numbers. Asteroids come in all sizes and numerous different types of composition. They're roughly divided into two categories. Some of them are what we call stony, which is, like granite, like types of rock. And there are other ones that are metallic, which are big chunks of metal that are left over from the formation of the solar system. And of course, these rocks are floating around free flowing. We have a lot of them, what we call the near Earth orbits, which are come fairly close, about as close as our moon to us on a regular basis. Occasionally, one of those may get sidetracked because of a gravitational tug from the moon itself and divert into a closer orbit, even closer than our moon, and may eventually wind up crashing into the Earth. About once every 100,000 years, we'll have a good-sized chunk of an asteroid or possibly a comet actually hit the Earth and make a rather large splash, a big crater or something of that nature. So you don't need to go out and buy asteroid insurance right now.
Well, what are the probabilities, do you think? Are we that close now with a lot of this junk coming in toward our planet and surrounding us?
At this point in time, we are no more or less likely to get hit by an asteroid. Like I said, it's a matter of probabilities and averages. I think the last really big rock that hit that was something like about 10 to 15,000 years ago. And the averages I think most astronomers have computed is about a good sized chunk like that would be about once every 100,000 years. So I'm not looking for anything anytime soon, but you never know what might come crashing down at a moment's notice. There are several projects going on now to track, catalog, and keep track of what they call near Earth orbit objects, NEOs, for the purpose of planetary defense from these things. Because if we see them far enough out there, we can actually maybe do something to divert the orbit just enough, give it just a little nudge so it won't crash into the Earth. So, because one of them, if it's big enough, could be a civilization-ending event, kind of like what ended the reign of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago.
I know we have eyes and ears focused across the galaxy. Mark, when you look up at the night sky, what do you feel?
Well, as a scientist and an engineer, I see a lot of what science has taught us in the last couple hundred years. It's easy to be awestruck by it, but most of it is very easily explained by current science. So it's a beautiful sight. I much prefer it than to looking at billboards and street lights. Actually, street lights and outdoor lighting is a major impediment to stargazing because of what we call light pollution combined with air pollution makes the sky an awful fuzzy mess. Because if you look at the constellations that our ancestors created that we still use today, most of those stars are not all that terribly bright. And in a modern urban or suburban environment, you can't see half the constellations because they're washed out by the haze of the sky. Now, if you get out in the country, like the Astronomy Club has an observing area about 100 miles east of Atlanta. It's called the Derelict Astronomy Village. We have a big 10-acre field. It's in the middle of absolutely nowhere. We chose it because of the lack of light pollution, based on satellite photos. We looked between Atlanta and Augusta, and there's this nice big dark spot. So that's where we bought the land for this. You go out there at night, the Milky Way will be so bright it will cast your shadow. And you can see all the little bitty stars of the constellations from ancient times. But not here in Atlanta. The air is just too dirty.
Mark, thank you for joining us, and we'll post how to contact the Atlanta Astronomy Club on our Facebook page and website. And if you're looking to go to the Facebook page, it's aboutspace.today, or you can check out our website at https://aboutspace.today. Our guest has been Mark Banks, past president of the Atlanta Astronomy Club. Join me next week again for more on America's return to space. Boeing Starliner, ready to launch. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.